Ha! We won! Take that! His name is Hatbox, guys. That's the joke. Hello everybody and welcome to week 14 of the 2018 NFL season. I am your host, the TBCC. We're in a different environment yet again. Upstairs this time. You know, family life, things get hectic. It just be that way these days. This is really interesting. I don't know if you guys remember this hat, but I've had it for a while now. Good old buddy Jerry Bear. He bought a bunch of these hats. He bought like 5 of them, and he's like, scribble whatever you want on them. So, of course, roll the intro for me. Because I like to. Last week, that happened. Again, Cody doesn't remember, but that's why he has the power of editing to do it for him. And the power of Deadpool to break fourth walls right behind me. But you know what? That is okay. That is okay. I actually don't remember off the top of my head how I did, so I'm going to pretend that's good. It might not look good, but I'm going to pretend that looks good. So that way, I feel confident. And with confidence comes better pick selections. So let's get into the game, shall we? First game we're going to look at has me falling backwards. Has Detroit going to Arizona, where the Lions are a singular point favorited on the road. The one time I do not trust Arizona. The one time I'm thinking, you know what? Okay, Green Bay's at home. Green Bay does well at home. They beat up crappy teams at home all the freaking time. Whatever. Regardless of the season, they got Rodgers. They'll throw up 30. Arizona's up and down. I don't trust Josh Rosen. I think so far he is the least. I don't want to say he's the worst. I'm going to say he's the least of the first round quarterbacks this year, but I will hold my tongue to see how the future holds. But all of a sudden, apparently, the Cardinals can go into Lambeau and win. Cardinals team who a couple weeks ago just lost to Oakland at their own home stadium, but yeah, can go into Lambeau and win that game. I don't understand it, guys. I do not understand it. But anyway, the Lions are coming into town, and let's face it, Arizona's not going to have that performance, or have a performance of which shutting down QBs like that, or whatever. The belief is that the team gave up on McCarthy, and now have officially gotten rid of him. So now maybe they'll try. And what is it? Teams always try hard when the game after a coach gets fired. I don't know. Someone said something like that. I'm doing that thing again where I keep running out of breath while I'm talking. It's been a bad habit for me the last couple of weeks. But you know what? It's okay. We'll get through it. This hat is actually taken away from the light. So for hit myself in the eye. I'm getting distracted. What did Detroit do? I have not been keeping track. Detroit lost to the Rams, because everyone loses to the Rams. Let's do the Saints. Then, yeah. So the Lions, they did keep it interesting, though, I will admit. Okay, now I can't do this. I can't do that. Now the Lions, they did keep it interesting for a little bit, but the Rams eventually did enough to cover our spread. So, give or take. Point is, I don't see Arizona having that type of performance again. And I see Detroit running away with this one. And you get the points. I think it moves up on odd sharks, but you know, whatever. Take the Lions and the points you're getting. Second game we're going to look at is when Pittsburgh heads to Oakland, where the Raiders are 12.5-point dogs at home. Oh, the Oakland Raiders. You gotta give credit to them for being able to hold off a double-digit spread against KC, kept it at single digits at the end of the game. At home as well, so it was, And, you know, KC, great offense, no defense. As example by the Raiders getting 33 points. But who am I to say much of anything? And then you got Pittsburgh who's coming in on 2 consecutive losses. And now they're on the road into the black hole, where I guess for whatever reason Oakland does have a role of somehow toppling Pittsburgh, or at least making games close. And Pittsburgh now coming on that 2-game losing streak as well. There's a little mentalness to it, and James Conner is also going to be out for this game. So with that, you got all these things psychologically going on with Pittsburgh. Well, Oakland, they're a crappy team. They're not going anywhere. They've already been eliminated from the playoffs, so who cares about them at this point? At this point, they're just trying to get a good draft position. With all those first-round picks, maybe they can get a star pass rusher and a receiver in the first round. Pro Bowlers everywhere, my friends. Pro Bowlers everywhere. But anywho, coming back to Pittsburgh, 2-game losing streak, 1 to Denver, which I guess hard to win a mile high, and then I can't really say choke fest because in my definition, choke is 3 possessions. They had a 2-possession lead, so. And then that whole conundrum of the offsides on the game-winning field goal. But who am I to judge anything? Anywho, knowing how Pittsburgh has a tendency to play down to their opponents, 12.5, or whatever OddsShark has it, I think they lowered it down to 10. Just too many for me. Too many for me. So Pittsburgh will win. They'll win because Oakland's that bad. But 12.5 too much, 10's too much. Take the Raiders against the spread. And the third game we're going to look at is the Monday Nighter, where Minnesota heads to Seattle, where the Hawks are 3-point favorites at home. Who keeps giving Kirk Cousins all these primetime games? I'm tired of doing primetime games with Kirk Cousins. We get it, the Vikings were 1 game away from the from the Super Bowl, and now they added a quote-unquote better quarterback. You tell me, people. You tell me. I don't know. Yes, you got a good game against Green Bay, but then you go to New England and pretty much do next to nothing. Next to nothing. Which I kind of expected that from the get-go, but you could at least made it a 31-17 game. No, you guys made it a 24-10 and made it, for a potential Super Bowl preview, you made it boring. So, good job, Kirk Cousins. And now guess what? You're going to be on your 3rd primetime game in the last 4 weeks. Because that's what we want to see. Kirk Cousins, the primetime game. Anywho. Get that down. Seattle, on the other hand, is coming off multiple wins. They just blew the crap out of San Fran. They've beaten the Carolinas. Whatever. And then they won a couple other games that I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're on a roll right now. Carolina, we thought had the 5th seed on lock, but now it looks like Seattle's on pace to have that 5th seed. And they're hosting the Vikings. And I still have a lack of trust in Minnesota. Don't get me wrong, I think they'll make the playoffs eventually. Because Carolina just keeps sinking. There's losing a lot of faith in them. NFC East is only going to send 1 team. And that's really it. I mean, if you want to... Yeah, Carolina, gone. So that's the NFC South. East, 1. North, yeah, Minnesota. Minnesota and Seattle, honestly, yeah. That's my prediction. Seattle 5, Minnesota 6. Doesn't matter what happens. I think Minnesota has a pretty easy schedule for the rest of the year. I don't remember off the top of my head. But anywho, this is the game that they're going to need, but Seattle wants to solidify that 5th seed, and I think they do get that. And it's 3 points. You're going to get the points anyway. I'm going to predict Kirk Cousins has a Kirk Cousins-esque game. And if it were a double digit, then I'd have Minnesota covering. But they'll probably... Don't be surprised if this game's a push. Don't be surprised. But take Seattle in the 3-year game. And those are your games for the week. I move here. And we go over here to talk about these games that are all happening. And yeah, spoiler, I'm well aware that I'm making this video after the Titans game. But I do tweet about it. Follow me on Twitter. I post games if I know I'm going to be late. Which, at this rate, will be all the time. Because I always work Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I'm sorry. But luckily we're getting to the point now where Week 16 is not going to have a Thursday game. Week 17, they're all Sundays. So I think you're only going to get one more week of this being late. So yay! I think. I don't know. Do you really care that much about the Thursday game? I mean, good job Derrick Henry for getting your yard, but overall I don't think any of us are that excited. These last couple of Thursday night games have been kind of whatever. Although I think, isn't the Chiefs Chargers next week? I think it is. So that might be an interesting game. We'll see how the Chargers are really made of. Anywho, these game picks are her. I wanted to pick Cleveland in this game against Carolina because they are on a 4-game losing streak. but I have a hard time doing it. I still think Carolina's a good team, even though there's this 4-game losing streak. But I don't know. The first 3 losses they had were, I can't say justifiable, but you lose games. Lions snuck away in the last second. Yeah, that Tampa Bay game, that was just not a good game for Carolina altogether. I'm take it. I was back and forth between Green Bay and Atlanta. I'm gonna take Green Bay on the end of this. And I had the Yahoo thing has it set with Atlanta, or with the Green Bay favored by 7, but I think Oddshark switched it to 4.5. I think it's over here. I would have took the plus with that, but since it's only down to 4.5 or whatever it was, minus. I think Green Bay will win by 4 or 5. So yeah, you'll keep your points. Chiefs and Ravens. This is going to be a good game. Especially since the Ravens have been on a hot streak lately with Lamar Jackson at QB running the ball very successfully. Go him. So yeah, and Casey still has a crappy defense, so as long as the Ravens can run the ball a lot, control clock, and limit possessions, this could be a relatively low. I can't say low scoring, but like the Chiefs probably don't score 30 or more than 30. That's my prediction. Actually, I'm gonna make that a prediction. Chiefs don't score more than 30. And because if they can only get 7-point spread between them and Oakland, chances are the Ravens, who shut down Drew Brees relatively well when they played in Baltimore, given that was a home game for them. I think the 7-point spread, I think it's 6.5 now on Oddsharks. Too much. Ravens will keep it close. Probably won't win in the end, but they'll keep it close. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. But New England always struggled in Miami. For the last several years they've done it. But I can't find it within my heart to take them. I'll take Miami against the spread, though. Because I do think that Miami nostalgia will probably get to them. But my heart can't do it. My heart can't select them. So I'm just going to take New England straight up, but Miami will cover. I think it's a touchdown, maybe more. This has it at +9, but I think it's at 7 now. Chargers are double digits, but that's a pain in the butt. But you know what? I think we can sneak it. Because Cincy's that bad. Dallas gets a crucial divisional win. And the Bears win at home because the Rams are bound to lose one more game. And if it's going to be one more game, it's going to be in Chicago. Cold weather matters, people. Cold weather matters. Those are your picks. Fantasy, again, madness is ensuing, and I don't know what to believe in anymore. But the playoffs have started in the Lottery League. And what does that mean? That means I'm on a bye. So this week is, And then the League of Assholes, we have 1 week left, and I'm up by 2 games. So I'm still in the 1 seed, regardless whether I win or lose. So this week is boring for me. You're not going to get much of anything out of it. But everyone is trying for their lives. Teddy and Sean, who are in a competition to get the 4th seed. Micah and Chris have locked up 2 and 3. Which way? I don't know which way, but they'll be playing each other the next week in the first round of the playoffs. And Teddy wins his game. He's in. He's playing Christopher, I think. But if Teddy loses and Sean wins, and I think Sean's playing Nathan, but I could be wrong. Nathan's still technically alive, but considering we're doing this by points, how many points? The better offenses, quote-unquote, are progressed, and Teddy has a darn near 200-point lead over Nathan. So he would have to overcome that. And Teddy, and at this point, if Nathan wins and Teddy loses, they're still tied. So there's that. And yeah. I don't even remember who's playing the Lottery League, but you saw it right there, so there's that and that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we call it a day. Playoffs are coming, people. NFL playoffs are coming. Teams are getting down to the wire. More teams are being eliminated. Who's going to be eliminated this week? Who's in a secure spot this week? What is Cody using as a camera stand this time? He's using pop figures that he bought just a couple weeks ago. Yay. Will we do more in my room? Maybe. Is there a bunch of nails and dead bugs on my wall? Yes. But that's the fun of it all. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of NFL Predictions. This is your host, Cody P. Pretend this says outro. And roll that back.